becomes the Caped Crusader and tries to save the world. We find out what it means to be the leader of the Autobots. And it's time to get gruesome with a little guns and gore. Hold on to your pantyhose, it's time for game. Hey guys, welcome to the show that gets your blood pumping, your friends riled, and your mum's laundry done quicker. Say what? Anyway, welcome to Game, your non-stop portal direct to the gaming gods, with me, Kelly, to see you through. But before we go over to Frags, it's time for us to take a look at what's been moving and shaking in the world of digital entertainment. It's time for the headlines. Race fans looking for a true white-knuckle ride into the sunset may just have a reason to pick up a PlayStation Move. Looking to bring more realism to your virtual V8, the boys at Sony have announced an all-new peripheral which looks to pair the precision of motion-sensing PS Move with a controller more suited for driving games. Featuring specially designed extra-long triggers for smooth acceleration and fold-out handlebars for motorcycle games, the best thing about this new device is that it's said to be up to twice as accurate as normal gamepads. Now, the idea of holding up a wireless wheel may turn off a few of the more hardcore, but priced at just $40 and coming with 3 separate rumble motors and a nice weight to it, this new wheel looks to be just the thing to shave those unwanted seconds off your lap time. Moving on. You know that saying, it's all fun and games till someone loses an eye? Well, taking the art of running with scissors to a whole new level, Assassin's Creed has come up with a new line of toys designed after Ezio's 2 stabby companions. Ezio Auditore's roleplay gauntlets will be priced at around $40 and comes complete with an adjustable buckle for instant spring-loaded stabby action. No word yet on whether you'll have to remove your ring finger for the device to work like it did in the games, but if you're serious about your cosplay, these plastic pointy things look like just the ticket. And finally, could Microsoft's newest console be called the Xbox 8? The Redmond Massive have just registered several domains, namely xbox8.us and xbox8.org, leading to speculation that their as-yet unannounced new console may just have a new name. So far, there's been no confirmation on the rumor, but the news does sit in line with Microsoft's new line of products, all with the number 8, across its other platforms with both Windows 8 and Windows Phone 8 set to launch later this year. So now that you've got enough general knowledge to sit an exam, we're going to give you something else to fill your brain. It's time for us to turn to Frags, who has disappeared, but in his place, a Caped Crusader is here to save the day. Oh, my hero. Here he is as he saves the day in LEGO Batman 2 DC Superheroes.
Hey gamers, and welcome to yet another edition of Play With Me, Fraggy. Now in today's game in review, it's a little crime busting on the menu as we check in with the latest LEGO game to hit the scene. Get ready to get blocky, guys. This is LEGO Batman 2 DC Superheroes. Now, if you've been at this video gaming thing a while, you're probably no stranger to this franchise. Building on a pretty successful formula, the LEGO games have always been about taking big-name movie blockbusters and realizing them in a kid-friendly universe made entirely out of plastic bricks. Now, in LEGO Batman 2, the story starts off with millionaire Bruce Wayne just about to collect his Man of the Year award. But the party comes to a grinding halt when the Joker swoops in and steals the award, leading to a wild chase in which more than several superheroes are inconvenienced, a few bad guys get released,
but the good news is I'm out of prison,
and Gotham City pretty much goes into chaos mode for a couple of days. So far nothing we haven't seen before, but besides the addition of a couple of super friends to the mix, what other changes can gamers expect? Well, let's put a smile on that face. time to super suit up with LEGO Batman 2. Now, if you've ever picked up any of the recent LEGO games, you'll know that when it comes to gameplay, these LEGO games are all about exploring, simple puzzle solving, and, well, smashing up stuff. And one of the biggest changes in LEGO Batman 2 is the fact that the game is now set in an open world. Now, what this means, for those not in the know, is that instead of progressing from level 1 to 2 to 3 and so on, in Batman 2, you pretty much get to explore the entire game world right from the start. And as someone who loves getting lost in my video games, I like the freedom of being able to explore the world at my own time, looking for hidden secrets, rescuing helpless citizens, and generally being an all-round super nice guy. Puzzles are still as fun as ever, requiring our heroes to change into one of several super suits, each with a unique ability. And these mini brain benders all show a good amount of thought put into them, a great way for kids to develop some skills in lateral thinking. Another big change this time around is the addition of speech for the first time ever in a LEGO game, something which I think helps add an air of seriousness to this otherwise light-hearted affair.
But I didn't like it.
Batman's voice is more than adequately raspy.
Go through life expecting Superman or anyone else to save us whenever things get tough.
And even though the story won't win any awards, the animation and just how the characters react to each other is genuinely funny, especially between Superman and the obviously unsuperpowered Caped Crusader.
Kryptonite? We better call Superman.
Not going to call Superman.
And finally, graphics junkies will be glad to know that not only is Batman 2 the biggest LEGO game to date, but thanks to some nifty tweaks to the visuals, it's also the best looking. Walking around the city or just checking out random buildings is great fun, and who knows, you might just get something for your troubles.
Where's your car?
Now, on the flip side, while I did like the game's switch to an open world, there are a few teething problems with this new direction. First off, while the world itself is big and beautiful, getting around can be a bit of a chore. Cars, while nice to look at, all control pretty terrible. And don't even get me started on the flying, which can be an exercise in itself. Characters can also get stuck in the walls and on the floor, which can be super annoying. Also, now this you may contest, but the simple formula of smashing up everything in sight can get a little repetitive. But my biggest gripe is that despite the focus on cooperation, online multiplayer is still missing, and the only way to enjoy co-op is to have two players playing on the same box. Terribly 2005 if you asked me. You know what, when it comes to movie tie-in games, the one thing that they usually have in common is that they're all pretty terrible. But with the LEGO games, seems like the developers have stumbled on a way to take what made the source material so popular and really make a game which works not only for the kids, but for anyone looking for a quality platformer to get into. It's got a ton of content thanks to the open world, and the use of speech this time really helps drive the story.
Sorry to wipe that grin off your face, Joker.
You're not sorry. You're not sorry at all.
A great game to pull out to keep the kids busy for a few hours, or even better yet, sit down, play a game with them, spend some quality time. LEGO Batman 2, highly recommended.
Okay, enough of the masked men. It's break time and a few messages from the folks who pay our bills. But don't go anywhere, because in just 2 short minutes, we take it to the corporate bankers in Tom Clancy's latest in the Rainbow Six series.
Can only be certain
And
of this.
we meet the awesome mustache behind the leader of the Autobots.
day we've been waiting for. Years of training, years of sacrifice. This is for the jobs you streamlined, the debts you collected. This is for the homes you foreclosed on, the bailouts you took. We are the true patriots. It's time for a new balance of power.
Happy birthday. Blow it out.
Cindy! Get away from her! On the floor.
We'll do exactly what we say, or we will field dress her like a deer. Your kid, too. You're coming with us. No matter what happens, you get yourself to Times Square. Tell Treadway Subject 4 is activated. You hold this down until Times Square, or your family gets a one-way ticket to the hereafter.
We're taking fire! Engine's cooked! Sniper! Yeah. Hostiles ahead, take them out. Engaging. Stop where you are. Don't move. We're here to help. No, they're gonna kill my family. Right. Please, I don't want to die. Bomb squad is 3 minutes out. But they told me I have to get to Times Square. Listen. They've got my wife. They've got my kids. Secure. Just hang tight until the bomb squad arrives.
Remote detonator. This is bad. There's more than 100 people still in the kill radius.
We're out of time. I'm sorry. Over here, now! No, don't do this! No! What did you do? What I had to do.
You know, given the latest scandals rocking the economic world, I'm not altogether sure who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. Either way, this one hits us in 2013. Welcome back to Game. Now, as we just saw, all these undoings are the making of man. So whilst it's good to be human, it's even better being a god. Or at least that's the line taken in this next game. Taking global domination and population expansion to a whole new level, let's take a look at Civilization 5 in this week's wrap. Up first in our look at the games hot on the shelves right now, we check in with the latest expansion to a series we all know and love. This is Civilization 5, Gods and Kings. The latest bit of content for the turn-based strategy game, this package offers 27 units, 13 building types and 9 new wonders for your playable civilizations. Phew, talk about getting your money's worth. What's more, aside from all the new additions, the combat system has been reworked with smarter enemies and even altered game mechanics, which fundamentally change how the game is played. Receiving positive reviews the world over for being so much more than just some added content and also fixing several balance issues. If you haven't gotten your fill of one of this year's most exciting strategy titles, the Gods and Kings expansion pack is available right now. Up next is some first-person puzzle action courtesy of our friends over at Square Enix. This is Quantum Conundrum. Playing a lot like a mix between Portal and a zany Saturday morning cartoon, this title is all about solving puzzles with the help of a rather high-tech glove. Now, as the story goes, you play a know-it-all savant, understudy to one of the most famous scientists in the world, a man who also happens to be your uncle. But as the story goes, your uncle goes missing, and it's up to you and the magic of science to solve the mystery surrounding his disappearance. Now, in order to solve these puzzles, players need to work around 4 dimensions, heavy and slow, which are pretty self-explanatory, but also dimensions called reverse gravity, and even one called fluffy. Aww. An interesting game brought to us from the same minds behind Valve's Portal. Quantum Conundrum is available on the PC right now.
The Seer. He's back.
And finally, got a taste for adventure? Well, if you're the type of gamer looking for more lore in your loot grind, listen up because one of the better point-and-click adventures has just been released.
We have to go. They'll kill us.
Don't worry.
Featuring an interesting story steeped in fantasy, The Dark Eye: Chains of Satinav follows the exploits of Geron, a boy claimed to be cursed after an ancient tells of his future. Shunned by society and an outcast living a solitary life, things take a turn when aggressive crows begin to appear and people start dying around you. And so begins your quest to clear your name and, in the process, save your city. Featuring hand-drawn locations, challenging puzzles, and an engaging storyline, The Dark Eye: Chains of Satinav is definitely worth checking out.
I suppose that when the future's set in stone, you just have to let nature run its course. And the powers, well, they tell me that for some, the end is nigh, but for others, a new future awaits. Hopefully the voice inside my head will explain that a little bit further. The voice being none other than Peter Cullen. Don't know who he is? Well, you will in 2 seconds.
Most of us have abandoned our home in hopes of finding a new life among the stars. We do not know how many of our brothers escaped Megatron's blockade. I can only be certain of this. Just one transport remains.
I'm Peter Cullen. I'm playing the part of Optimus Prime. We're recording a video game called Transformers: Fall of Cybertron. The characters are so rich and they're so very, very true. The constant skirmish, between good and evil, and Megatron and Prime, and the Decepticons and the Autobots. You see where it was born, and you become really entrenched in it. You become involved. You want to know.
Everybody loves playing as Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. He's arguably one of the most powerful Transformers that's ever been created. When you take control of Optimus, you are going to feel super powerful. He is the leader of the Autobots for a reason, and we've designed the game to make you feel that way.
I love the way he's written. I mean, he brings to life so many great character principles. The trustworthiness and the courage, the integrity, honor, dignity. It's important to me that those elements remain very, very rich and alive. Doing Prime, although he's consistent, doing a movie and doing an episodic television series and then doing a video game, although the character remains the same, there's a different intensity and different approaches. But this Transformers: Fall of Cybertron is a lot different. It has the elements of emotion, and there's a lot of relation to character. And so this game is not only fun to do, and it seems much more of involvement into a story. And I think that's going to be the real kick for it, I think.
Till all are one.
There are several things that I want to accomplish in my life. Voicing a game or cartoon character is definitely one of them. The other, being the voice you hear in the lift. Level 1, going down. And with that, it's time for us to go for a break. And when we come back, it's a look at some games that are all about the guns and gore. And the Euros are done, but we've got your football fix coming right up on Game. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around on Game. You know, sometimes there's nothing quite as satisfying as just hacking or slashing. And if you can't get enough of virtual violence, then this is just for you. If you're squeamish, then please look away, or at least have a bucket at the ready. It's time for Guns and Gore.
This week on Guns and Gore, time to get stealthy with an upcoming action game from the makers of Skyrim. Feast your eyes on Dishonored. Telling the story of Corvo Attano, a legendary bodyguard who gets falsely accused of killing the Empress.
You're the killer, but we know what really happened, don't we?
It's incarceration for poor Corvo until a mystery stranger grants him supernatural powers as our would-be hero begins his quest to seek revenge against those who framed him. A first-person game with a strong emphasis on stealth. Make use of a variety of gadgets and magical powers as you scale the open world, looking a little like a postmodern cyberpunk version of Batman. With an all-star development team working on this title and gameplay which looks to me like a mishmash of several of video gaming's best ideas over the last few years. If you like a little Victorian influence in your action games, Dishonored is set for release in October. From supernatural to super spy, time to go undercover with everyone's favorite martini-drinking womanizer. It's a little live and let die with 007 Legends. Now, similar to past titles, the latest of James' escapades comes to us as a first-person shooter, but unlike your usual movie license video game tie-in. 007 Legends is a loving compilation of several of Bond's greatest movie moments, as the magic of the films comes to life right at your fingertips. Set to coincide with the 50th anniversary of the franchise, Legends will take us through 6 iconic Bond movies, including scenes from the upcoming film Skyfall. Featuring the voice of Daniel Craig himself as James Bond, meet the man and his shiny shooty appendage when 007 Legends hits in October. And finally, it's blood, sweat, and a whole lot of demon tears with the remake of one of video gaming's most iconic action games. Putting the super in supernatural, these are the latest shots from the upcoming Devil May Cry.
Here I am.
Known now as DMC, longtime fans will instantly notice that our titular hero has gone a little emo, swapping his trademark white coif for something a little more modern. Set in a parallel universe, the story tells of a younger Dante and his journey through a city called Limbo. Now, thankfully, the new DMC is no slouch when it comes to action, with gameplay still heavily based on connecting and stringing together combos for the most stylish kills. In addition, weapons will also play a vital role, with an assortment of brutal bloodletters to carve up the competition.
Poor mother. I don't know my mother.
So, get your fill of DMC. Look out for Emo Dante and his 6 shooting puppies to make their debut early next year.
You know, there's something about a bad boy demon killer that does it for me. Every single time. Dante returns with a new hairdo and a youth serum. Nice. And on that hormonally charged high, I leave you with our usual words of wisdom. Communication is key, so talk to us on facebook.com/ESSGame or twitter.com/ESSGame. And if you followed us on our social media pages, you'll have seen our running caption competition. We finally have a winner! Congratulations, Luis Taga Paranaque. You've just won yourself a year's subscription to PlayStation Plus and that very, very exclusive E3 skateboard. Well done you. We'll be in touch with you shortly to get those prizes to you, so watch out for it. Continuing with my theme of finely framed men though, I promised you football nuts that I've got your footy fixed in the form of a game that I wish I could rename Pro Evolution Football, but that's not happening, is it? So here it is, Pro Evolution Soccer 2013. I'll see you guys next week. Woohoo!